every era is different. Every time is different. So even though some of the things we talked about, let's say it applies to our parents' generation more because, as you pointed out, they don't have internet, they don't have social media then. That was a different world compared to now, whereby just be an influencer, you could make a living through that. And in my time, you got to have some bachelor's degree and some university
You
degree
know why I
to,
said that? Sorry to cut you. Do you know why
yeah,
I mentioned this cycle? It's because, of course, I don't know much of what went on in my parents' time, but sometimes we watch these movies that remind
yeah,
us of what it was like. Maybe not exactly in our parents' time, but maybe the ones before them. And you see that some of the things that are happening today, and some of the gigs or the profession happening today, is not in the same capacity, but somehow was even happening back in those days. I'll give you an example. An influencer or someone that spreads the news.
yeah,
In some way, I'm not, and this is not exactly the same way, but people that come from where we come from, we notice that a town crier has a role to
okay,
play as
yeah,
influencing the gravity of a particular message and the flow of information around the whole local area.
okay,
But now it's more amplified, of course, because of technology. Same with someone that's a doctor. Of course, everything gets better in some ways and everything gets takes a couple steps back because the same way goodness is amplified, the not so good part of reality would also be amplified. So how can we as a network amplify the message of enlightenment, the message of goodwill, the message of optimism, the message of building a community in this day and age?
yes, we could do that. That is why we have to understand the situation first. Like, what are we actually talking about? So we have to understand when, but like as we pointed out, few couple years ago, you need an education, you need a good career. But whereas right now, most people's profession has to do with social media and marketing and stuff. So it's a different world. So understanding that is very important. It's not the same world we live in. But we also have to understand there's something called foundational truth that no era could shake it, no internet, no AI could shake it. And those are the things of personal development, humans themselves. We humans ourselves, we have to understand that money is important. We have to save money regardless of the time so we could use it for the future.
But is this about money? Sorry to interject. Is this about money or the effective management of resources? Like I said back at the beginning, I like to look at the foundation of things. So is this about resources or is it about money? Because you can have a lot of money and be on your deathbed, then there's nothing else you can do with it.
It's obviously it's not about money. It's about the principle behind your money, how
Okay.
you save it, how you plan it. I'm just having a bracket of money, but it's about how do I live? How do I spend all those things?
Yeah.
What am
Because
I saving?
yeah,
Which one would I invest in future
yeah,
so I could live
exactly.
a better life?
Because
You feel me?
some of the things our parents told us they didn't really break it down this way. And I don't know if that is why I mean they did later on in our youth or slash adult life. But it's like they didn't most people don't take time to break it down, get it into
Yeah,
digestible stages
okay,
because
okay
then
then.
we can wrap it around this umbrella, but it's like you don't really understand it till you peel the layers back and then you are
Then
exposed to the foundations of those things. And then each foundation, each knowledge then builds this wealth or this umbrella of knowledge basically that leads to wisdom.